Hey everyone, Arsenal Fan Circle here. We are live. It is the pre-game show, the number one pre-game show, number one team here. I've got Gary with me and Sam.
Hello,
Right.
hello.
Good
Good
morning,
day.
good morning and afternoon in that rotation, right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to cover it all and just say good day. That's it. I just covered it all then.
Good day to all. We may have one or two other panelists dropping in, but hey, how we feeling this morning, Gary? How we feeling
I'm
about the
feeling,
game?
I'm feeling good, but I am cautious, of course, because this is Arsenal, so I always get surprised. So I'm not going to be too overconfident on this one. I feel like the team needs to be on their p's and q's and be on their toes. So because this is one, it's the season. Two, it is Arsenal, and three, we just came up with a really big win. So everything is a setup, but I don't think it should matter. I mean, I think even if we go to our depth, I think we should be okay to get something
Yeah,
out of this game.
yeah.
But I'm, like I said, I'll look at all three of those and kind of like, you know, temper my, we should be able to run over them because teams at the bottom will be challenging. It's not going to be easy. I mean, I think you saw that in the game yesterday, right? I mean, Sheffield United
You mean the
lost by
one that I
one, and they
predict?
kind of made it. I think that was basically a mistake, right? If I recall the way the goal went there, and they actually had chances. I think so. You just can't. You don't know. You know. You don't know.
Yeah.
The Wolves got. I think the Wolves got lucky, if I recall, right? And
It was a 1-0 win for Wolves, right?
no, but I mean the goal itself that they scored. I don't think that
Yeah.
was. I think that was kind of It wasn't like the Wolves dominated them and were able to score. I think it was like just a freak, weird situation that happened and they scored. I'm thinking. I watched part of the game, but I don't remember. I watched towards the end when definitely saw the end when they were trying to get the goal back, and they did have chances. So if you let them, they will take it, of course.
Yeah.
So and Fulham, are they the 3-0 team that we beat early in the season? And are we better than we were in that game? I think team-wise, I think we are, but I expect them to be better as well. But how much more than us? I don't. I think we've won a lot more than they may have from that game in terms of we have dipped and then come back up again.
Yeah, so I want us to start gathering steam again. And I think there's signs towards that. We shall see what happens. Stephen Denham here. Hi, guys. I'm here today. Looking forward to the show. And my reply to Stephen was, we're all ready to go. Our Arsenal, Sam. And I kind of, what I'm thinking about, I want this to be a facile, boring game because that will show progress. Even if we rotate, we want to have a routine win. No drama today, Sam.
Yeah, of course. We need to be winning this game today for several reasons. Of course, we want to get as many points as we can towards the end of the season, try and push as far up the league as possible. I mean, we're in a position now where if we beat Fulham today and we beat Everton next Friday, we actually go above Everton on the league, and then we're only just like a couple of points behind Tottenham. So I mean, we can actually at the end of the season here, if we go on a run of wins and Tottenham start dropping points, which they look like they could, and Everton the same. If we beat Everton, all of a sudden the end of the season could be a lot brighter for our position, which is quite surprising. So yeah, we definitely need to be getting these 3 points today for that. And also we need to be seeing some consistency, right? I mean, this is the thing we've been calling on all season. That's the buzzword, is consistency. We've lacked it all season. We'll have one good game and the next game will just flop. So today I want to see another good performance. I want to see the guys at least give 100%. That's the minimum requirement for me. And yeah, I mean, Fulham is a team we should be beating. But on the other hand, we've got to remember now that Fulham are struggling. They're giving they're going to give all today. They're going to give it all to try and stay up.
Yep.
I mean, they're going to give us a hard game today. They're not going to let us just do what we want today. I just don't think so. I don't think Scott Parker's going to let them do that. He's going to tell them to get in our face. They're going to press us hard, probably make life difficult for us. And it's not going to be easy. And it depends on our lineup. If he rotates a lot of players today, rests a lot of players, which he of course can do. then I think we'll have more of a struggle with our, more second string players. I think that'll be more difficult for us. But I think if we go with a very strong lineup today, which also could happen, if we go with just about as everyone we can as the strongest lineup, then we should be winning the game. Because Fulham, they are not at the same level as us. So, there's a few different facets to this game, but all in all, I think we should be winning today. That's the final conclusion. Yeah.
Yeah. So Gary, let's break it down a little bit, and let's ask Gary and Sam what they actually think about. Do you think you're going to see the Granit Xhaka dynamic at left back again, or from my predicted lineup, I actually think he will be rested because we do have a good stretch now between games. There's actually fixtures coming up, Gary, are really nice because we're getting this game done and dusted today, and then on Friday, 5-day rest till we play Everton, as Sam has said, and then we have another 6 days of rest to prepare for Villarreal, and what will be a very big game and a lot of training ground stuff needed, for that game, that semi-final.
Yeah, I guess that is. I mean, with all that rest, do you really want to sit some of your players down, especially if they're playing in a new position? If he's going to be playing at left back, or one of the center backs in a 3, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to rest him, or do you want him to kind of be more familiar with the position going into that game? Because if that's where we're going to go, then yeah, I mean, you're going to play him, right? Especially if you're changing things around. We've been changing things around consistently every week, right? Every game, basically. At some point, we need to kind of slow that down, right? And if he's only played it twice, and he's played it twice against teams that, this won't be a barometer. There won't be a barometer of what he's going to see when he plays Villarreal, but it would be against Everton, and it would be nice for him to have had another game in if that's where we're going to go. And he doesn't really sit anyway, so what's the point? It's like last season, Aubameyang played every game, right? You don't sit him just because you have extra time to rest. You actually keep playing him, right? Because you want him to be in form when he comes into those games. So if we're going to look at what we've done in the past and expect it to go forward, then I would expect him to probably play, if it's a new position, players that probably need rest are probably some of our younger players, like the Sackers and the Milsroof Rose, if they're going to do that. And it's more, for me, it's probably more mental and some physical there for them players, as opposed to like somebody seasoned like a Xhaka. So Lacazette as well probably doesn't need to play in this game. They may bring him on for the second half if needed to get something out of the game. But I don't think we need to. We might need to rest him, because I feel like he is a player that can probably sit out and come back ready to go for Everton, the way he plays, right? The style he plays. Whereas like a Saka and a Milsroof Road kind of give 100. I think they give 120% when they're out there. I mean, I don't think the Milsroof Road had much to give us after the 50th minute in that last game. I think he was on running on steam at that point. He
did look like he was getting tired at that time.
I mean, his feet gave out on him a couple of times, and I could have said it was the ground, but I don't think so. I think the last one was definitely just maybe tired. The first one might have been a slip, but he slipped twice on 2 shots, right? And it's like, okay, his legs are just not where they need to be, which is fine. I think it's fine, but yeah, I think Xhaka should probably play, if that's the question you're asking.
Yeah, there's 2 ways to think about it. I'm thinking the other way, and we'll see what happens. I think there can be a case made either way, Sam, but Gary is making a good point. You need Xhaka to really, really understand that position and the facets of it, because Everton will present really, really difficult. And I'm thinking about opponents as well, Sam. So Richarlison would be a player that Xhaka would potentially come up against Everton.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's when I think Xhaka is going to be put to a real test.
Yeah,
against a good player like Richarlison, that's when we're going to see what he's really capable of at left back. Because for me, I'll give him credit. He's done a good job, but at the same time, he hasn't really met very good players so far. So
yeah, it's
you know,
been the bottom team in the Premier League, and probably the best the best draw we could have had in the Europa League at the quarterfinal stage.
Yeah. We saw that Slavia Prague weren't the best team, even though they can be good on the day. But so this is going to be the first test, I think, against Everton for Xhaka. So we'll see what he's capable of, because against Villarreal they've got a very good right wing who was very good in their last round. I can't remember his name now. It's like an African name, something with C, Chi something. I can't remember, but it's a difficult name to remember. But he's been playing really well on the right wing, and he's fast, he's technical. He's going to be giving Xhaka a lot of problems, I think. So we'll see how he tackles this. And today, it is an opportunity to rest Xhaka. But the thing, like Gary says, Arteta never rests Xhaka. Xhaka is a player who seems to be, his fitness seems to be supreme. You know, he seems to always be fit and ready to go, and so you know it's highly unlikely that he will rest him, even though he does have the opportunity to do so today.
He does not miss any games. That's true.
He doesn't really miss any games unless he's forced to, you know, a red card or an injury. So, you know, I think he's going to be playing today. I really do. And then I think we'll see some changes possibly in other positions. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Xhaka copes today against Fulham. And then we'll see him against Everton. And that'll be his real test at left back against Everton. But I do think we need to be playing Xhaka at left back, because it opens up our play from the middle, because playing Xhaka and Partey together, it holds us back a lot, you know, on the back foot. And, you know, we could see how much more open we play, how much more on the front foot we can play with a single pivot with Partey, which, you know, we've been wanting all along, really. And we haven't been able to do it because Partey hasn't been 100% fit. I think that's the main reason behind it. So now that Partey is actually getting fit, getting into form, we're seeing what he can do. You can play him at a single pivot because he's dynamic and he has that ability. And then it opens up, you know, you have an extra attacking midfielder you can play, or forward-thinking midfielder that can play next to him, and that opens up a whole attack. I think that's one of the reasons why we've been playing so much better on the front foot lately, is because Partey has been a single pivot in the last 2 games. You know,
moving the ball a lot quicker as well, Sam.
Exactly. Partey's moving the ball forwards, and what I love about Partey, something that that so few of our midfielders can do, and is he can actually break past a defender. I mean, I'm talking a defender as an opposing player. He can break past an opposing player in midfield, and then all of a sudden it opens up so much more, right? Because when you're playing in front of players and you're just passing the ball around, they're always in position. So what you need to do, the most advantage you get on a football field, is when you get past an opposing player. When you get past the opposing player, things open up. And that's what Partey's so good at. He gets past one player, and that's it. And he finds he's always good with his passing. His passing is really good. So we're really starting to see now what Partey can do. He's a world-class player. He really is. And playing a single pivot opens up so much more. We played with Ceballos last game in a more forward role. I think we can do better than him. I think we need to play someone else when we can. I think we'll be seeing Ødegaard and ESR playing in front of pivot. In front of a single pivot of Partey, and it's gonna create so many opportunities for us, because he's gonna have ESR and Ødegaard as different options in front of him, and it's gonna be incredible. It's gonna give us so much more.
Great chaos. It's gonna create chaos, man. Because, like you said, when Partey beats his midfield opponent, he needs, then defenders have to commit whether to go to Partey or stay with their players, and then. You know, just creates chaos here. Stephen Denham has gone for a 2-1 win and a Man United 2-0 for 59.51. Not beyond the realms of possibility here for Arsenal to have a rotated team or have a little bit of a letdown, let's say. We don't want that to happen. We want to get a facile win. But, Gary, we were talking about 3 big games this week. We've beaten Sheffield United in good style last Sunday, and gotten through in better style against Slavia. Now is the 3rd test of the week for us coming forward.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean it's a test, but it's to check our consistency, which is kind of what we lacked, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, we're definitely looking for that. I had some comments to make when you guys were talking, and it kind of slipped my mind now that it's my turn. But yeah, no,
Well, we'll be here for another 30 minutes or
yeah,
so,
no, I
so
forgot what I was gonna
come
say
back to
here.
you.
I forgot what I was gonna say here with that, but yeah, no, I think this is another game that we need to show that the style that we have is going to work. And I think you guys were talking about some of the players
That's
coming
him.
in.
That's him. That's the player I was talking about for Villarreal. Oh, he's going to give
Here's
Xhaka
Ryan.
a hard time.
Yeah,
He's going to give
yeah.
Xhaka a hard time.
But you know what? He might give us a hard time if we let that. If the key for us
Cut
has
off
always
the
been the
supply,
midfield,
right?
right? So
If he gets protection,
so-
yeah. If Xhaka
yeah,
gets
and that's
protection, it'll help you.
kind of what. Not every team has 11 perfect players, right? Where you can
No.
we don't. Okay, William
I
should
think
not.
the assemble has been the
That name
protagonist
should not
here.
be mentioned anymore. I don't think. I think he's so far in the depth chart. It doesn't. He
Yeah.
shouldn't. There's no need to play him. The only reason why we would play him is because the younger players are hurt or injured or something, or whatever. But there's no reason to play him right now. I think you're going to get more out of the other players that we have, especially in this game.
Yeah,
Well, no, I
I
was
think
going to say
that's
you guys were talking about the midfield with Partey, and one of the things that he does is he doesn't stop his forward motion just because there's a defender there.
yeah.
You see it time and time again with a lot of our players. As soon as a defender makes a motion towards them, immediately they're ready to turn back and go the other way. And it's like the defense actually hasn't even shifted yet, and you're already swinging the ball back the other way. You know what? It's so easy to defend when you do that, right? Usually, if you let the defense dictate what you do. If they're going to give you the sideline, if they're going to give you, the touch line, just take it down the touch line until they figure out they want to stop you. Your teammates should be following you, and you're going to have an outlet if you need to turn back, right? Everybody's moving with the ball, but when you just stop, that's that Cedric situation where the defense is giving you everything in front of you, right? All that space, you take it. The last thing we want to do is play in our half. So why turn around and go back the other way? If they're going to give you that much space in front of you, you take it, and the guy's going to be trailing behind you. You know that, so you know what to do next. Either you cut inside, protect the ball, go back the other way, depending on, they've done this before. So that's the thing that Partey does. Even if he has somebody on him, or if he doesn't, he'll make them miss and go by them anyways, right? That's the one thing I've noticed with him. His footwork and his protection of the ball is pretty much good. The main thing we've seen is that he just kicks the ball away a lot. He was doing that consistently earlier, right? Not as much now because he's keeping the ball on the ground. When he puts the ball in the air, I think that's when I have to, that's when it gets scary. But when he's put it on the ground and he's just rolling on the ground, he pretty much has control of it, and it doesn't necessarily go out of bounds there. So yeah, I mean, I like the fact that he's touching the ball more. But even said, Xhaka still had the most touches in the game, right?
Yeah.
You push him back, he still gets all the touches. I don't know if that's by design or just the way
I think
the game flows. It always kind of gets stuck with him, and he has to, it just funnels to him for some reason. But he does, is less touches.
I think that's a large function of him being vocal. We've all seen the mic'd up video. He's very vocal, and like it or not, he is very much liked in the dressing room as well.
Yeah. I mean,
so
both Ceballos and him had similar number of touches or passes, but you can tell. I think you can tell the difference between the Partey passes and the Ceballos ones, right? I mean, just there's a lot more quality in them. So like you said, the more and more he gets touches, the more and more it seems like he's the only one in the midfield, because it didn't seem like Ceballos had as many passes and touches as he did, but he did. And I think, like you said, if Partey gets more control of that middle, that'd be nice to see. Once he gets his legs underneath him, does he play today? I don't know if you guys discussed that. Does he get rest? Does he play today?
Oh, Xhaka?
No, Partey.
Partey, you could make a case for resting him. Like I said, we got 5 days till a bigger game in Everton. There's a lot of ways that Arteta could go here.
Yeah.
What you're trying to do is keep Sam. You're just trying to keep the gears moving at this point. You're trying to involve some people, some players here and there, but you want to also maintain winning habits.
I think it's important to keep as many of the players that are playing well together. You've got to keep them as much together as you can to build momentum and build a cohesion. You want to find out the team that works best, right? And then you try and rotate players when you need to. When it comes to you got to monitor their fitness levels. So today, if some of the guys are probably going to need, I don't know, not many, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 are going to need rotation today because Thursday was a big game. The guys gave a lot, so it's not that long ago. So you can rest maybe 1 or 2 or 3 players, but you've got to try and keep as much of that team intact as possible because you saw with Guardiola yesterday. I mean, he made 8 changes. He made 8 changes to a team that won in the Champions League, and basically it was like giving the cup away. And so this is what Guardiola does. He just the FA Cup doesn't really seem to be as important to him. And yesterday 8 changes and they didn't play very well, and Chelsea beat them. So you've got to be careful with all those changes because it does change the dynamic. It really does. And an interesting stat I just saw. We've played 6 games this season at the Emirates. At the Emirates, just after a Europa League game, and we've lost 5 and won 1.
Not been good. It's not been good, especially at home.
Yeah, it's at home. That's what I'm taking at home. We played 6 games at the Emirates after Europa League this season. We've lost 5 and won 1.
Yeah. So Samuel, before in that Chelsea game, the one thing that at least I believe is that City does have has a lot of depth. Right?
Oh yeah. So we're talking about cohesion.
No. I get
if
that
those
part,
players don't play together.
No. I get that definitely, and I mean you could see it on Kevin De Bruyne's face. Basically, he was disgusted that I don't even think he got in the game, right?
He didn't get much in the game.
I don't think he got in the game, but he looked. Well. Yeah.
They were sleepwalking, and they better not do it next Sunday.
Sterling. He had Sterling and Jesus in front of him, and they were both rubbish. Yeah. And De Bruyne, you could see De Bruyne wasn't happy with it. Sterling just kept losing the ball. Jesus just, invisible. It was just he made all those changes, and yes, they do have very good players. Yeah. In their squad, they're all most of them are world-class players all over their squad. But again, it shows that cohesion. You make 8 changes, mentality. All of a sudden, those players they don't play together that normally.
Well, I mean, I guess also there's certain players that have to be on the field. A set of players that have to be on the field. Be it, Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan. Yeah. Some of those players need to be on the field because they bring you something. And I think they had to bring. One or both of them
Gundogan came on later in the game, yeah.
So I think, so there are certain players that bring Sterling. I think people were surprised he sat a couple of games ago at one point, right, when they could have used him. So like you said, it's probably a lot of players not really getting into the rotation where they don't lose their form and they come in and they look flat like they did yesterday.
And Sam, you can turn games around, like City against Chelsea yesterday. They were sleepwalking yesterday. There are situations where you can turn a game around. You sleepwalk for the first half, but you turn it around. It's very difficult to do that, and Arsenal need to bring it back to Arsenal here. We have to have the mindset here. We have to be mentally right to go out and win this game today.
Well, we should have some confidence because we beat Sheffield United 3-0. Now we won we had a comprehensive victory against Slavia Prague to go through in the Europa League. Yeah. We have some momentum now. So now today I want to see that consistency in the league now. I want to see it actually, manifest itself in some good play and another win. And if we have some good play today, good performance and another win, then I think you can actually start talking about really right at the end of the season, you're starting to see something I would tentatively say is progress.
Yeah, and listen, we got some news.
Well, yeah, I wanted to say it looks like definitely Milsrif Rowe is starting because he's doing the pre-match interview with Sky. So
And let's remember, Fulham, they have not won. They've had 4 straight defeats. Their last win was at Anfield, but they have beaten Liverpool and they have beaten Everton away from home. So they can be a dangerous team. And talking about Granit Xhaka, we're probably likely he's gonna face Loftus-Cheek, Sam, in this game.
Yeah, and he's a player who can have a decent game. He can have a good game, and he has a mediocre game. He's a bit up and down, but he does have some potential. I mean, he can have a good game. So we need to see what kind of Loftus-Cheek shows up today if he's starting for them. But yeah, I mean, they do have a couple of players who can potentially give us some problems. We need to be solid today, have a good performance, and take our chances. And we should be winning today. That is just the end of it. We should be winning the game.
Stefan said Arsenal on a roll. Definitely, that's what we want to see. Sam,
that was a question mark. I don't think it should be a question mark. We are on a roll, right? I don't think it's a question mark. I think we are on a roll. We scored 7, giving up 0. I mean, that's
the question mark.
When's the last time you said that coming into a game, regardless of who you're playing?
Yep.
Right? We've given up goals in the previous 14. We've changed for at least 2 games, so I would call that a roll. Is it a streak? No, but it's definitely a change in form that I think we're happy to see because like you said, we have not given up a goal, right? And it hasn't even been like the other teams just missed some sitters consistently. It's been pretty much the fact they're not getting anything from us, right? When they do get chances, they're slim and far between, and there's not, it's not threatening to us, right? So we need to do that one more time, and my mindset's always been just give me one more, right? And you just say that 38 times, and then you go back and you look at what you got, right?
Stack them all up, stack them together,
Yeah.
Sam, looking around the league and looking at the bottom of the league, some teams, and I think you prefaced this before in previous podcasts, we're going to play a lot of these teams in the bottom half that are in that relegation fight. We saw yesterday.
I saw Newcastle yesterday.
Newcastle stepping forward against a really decent West Ham. I'm going to razz you in the post-game show, Gary, about that. Not right now.
Did you pick West Ham to lose?
On Thursday, you laughed at me for predicting.
I've got the team out, guys.
Upset score.
No, I did. I definitely did. And
guys, we've got the team. Got the team out.
All right, let's go for it. What have you got?
Ready to go? So we got Ryan in goal. We got Bellerin now on right back. He's captain. Right. We got Holding and Gabriel central defence. Xhaka out left. In the middle, we're going with El Neni and Ceballos, and then we're going the 3 attacking. Across the middle is going to be Saka, Smith Rowe, and Martinelli. So Martinelli gets to start again today. And the striker is Lacazette. So we go with Ryan in goal. That's interesting. I like that. Ryan in goal. So it's Ryan. It's Ryan, Bellerin, Holding, Gabriel, Xhaka. That's the back. And then And then the middle, the 2, looks like we're going for maybe it's a single pivot, depends on how Ceballos lines up. But anyway, it's El Neni and Ceballos possibly as the 2. And then the 3 attacking the right. Well, it's probably going to be Smith Rowe in the middle then as the attacking midfielder. And then you got Saka right and Martinelli left. So it's Saka, Smith Rowe and Martinelli. And then it's going to be Lacazette up front. Okay. And Bellerin is captain. So it gives him a little token of appreciation here and there, it looks like.
Yeah. Okay, so we got Matt Ryan in goal. He gets a start. He hasn't done anything wrong for us in the one game that he did play. So, but he does need a game in case we do need him at some point in the season. Is Balogun on the bench, Sam?
No, he's not on the bench.
No, it's Nketiah. Nketiah and Nelson and Pepe, Willian, Partey, Marie, Chambers, Cedric and Leno. But yeah, Nelson and Nketiah and not at Balogun, which is a bit up. I don't know. I don't know if I like that, but it is what it is.
I mean, he played in the last game, so it's like was that the carrot?
Mm,
Because
probably.
I felt like we felt like we saw that the last time. So if he's going to script, we shouldn't be surprised. We should probably question it, but we shouldn't be surprised because we saw it last season, right? Saka signed a thing, and then it was like, you know what? I'm going to give you some time, but this personally, this isn't his time anyways. It's next year, but you want him to get some games, right? This would be the easiest one to get in the next 3 or 4 games, right? He's probably not going to play too much in between, the Villarreal game if we're trying to keep on form, based on where we are. But Arteta has a plan.
Like Ray Anderson
he's
said,
a mad genius.
Changed 3 of the back 5, Sam. So,
and again, this is potentially a problem because again, that's quite a lot of changes in the back, and it's the defense should be consistent. That you really should have a consistent defense to play well and get clean sheets. And when you change 3 of them, it's going to be again the cohesion factor. It's going to be more difficult probably today to play well, but we'll see. They're good players, so apart from Bellerin, he's useless, but
And news this week, Gary, we pretty much knew, the rumors were that Hector Bellerin would be leaving probably in the summertime, and Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess everybody else was kind of surprised to see him on the field, right? If that's the case, but and then he's a captain as well.
This is what Arteta does, though.
I'm a bit upset with that. I'm a bit upset with that because it's this thing. It's one of the things we criticise Arteta for. Is a player who actually has a run of games who's in form, all of a sudden gets benched, and that's Chambers. Chambers has been, getting into that right back role, playing well, and he's had 2 or 3 games there now, playing well, and all of a sudden he's benched today for the headless chicken. I mean, it's not good.
And also for me, he's probably a player that we want to keep in form. Whereas like a Partey and a Saka and a Milsworth Rowe, I feel like we're going to get it from them. And especially after the last couple of games, they probably could do with the rest because we do want them to be ready to go in the next one. So, who's he going to pull out? Like right now, I can see him pulling out Bellerin as opposed to pulling out Saka and Milsworth Rowe, who I would expect to come out of this game earlier than later in this game. And it doesn't really matter the score, just because I want them to be ready to go in the next one. More importantly than this one, if we struggle in this game with them in the first half, then that's on. I guess I would say, that's on the players because they know what they come to do, and they should be getting pulled out of this game. And Milsworth Rowe and Saka should be getting pulled out of this game because they've had such a good first half, right? We should be able to come out for a certain segment of time, basically dominate this game. And during that domination, basically score some goals, right? That we can do that. We scored basically 4 goals in like 8 minutes, and it doesn't really matter if it's Slavia Prague or anybody. They took 1 away from us, and we still came back and scored 3. So the mentality is there. The structure, the form, everything's there. We can do that. We've got players up on the field. Being positive and aggressive in the style that we're playing. So, hit record, rewind and repeat, right? Multiple times, and we should be able to, close this game out in a segment, in a small segment of time. That's what the big teams do, right? You give them, they come into these games and they have a small amount of time and they just take it over. And I expect to see that. That's what I expect to see. Because I know Martinelli is going to be given it 100%, right? He might kill himself trying to do it, and also have to come out the game. Maybe.
There's lots.
I mean, he needs to score 2 goals. The way I'm feeling right now, because he's basically put himself in situations to score at least 2 to 3 goals in the last 3 that he's played, and it just hasn't fell for him, right? The one that fell for him was off the post or whatever, or the goalie, right? So he needs to do on himself. I mean, if he can make those runs that he did in the last game and do something similar to that today, it'd be nice, because I don't think without Partey there, the passing is going to be the same as what it's been in the past, right?
Yeah,
So
we're going to struggle in midfield.
So he's
with
probably going to have
Ceballos
to
and
take.
Elneny.
Yeah, I mean,
He's probably going
Elneny
to
and
take the ball.
Ceballos.
Yeah, he's probably going to have to take the ball from midfield and do it all himself,
And
right? And he
they
can't
have
do
a
that.
powerful. They
He
have a
can't do
powerful
that.
engine room in the midfield as well. They got Lamina and Reed in there, so quite powerful. A couple of things that Gary unpacked there. You know, is Arteta testing these players with the rotation? Every game is an opportunity to learn something. He's rotated the team. We don't think it's the best thing to do for consistency and continuity. We got Gabriel's in now. We got Chambers, as you said, Sam, who's been playing really, really well, not in the team. Hector Bellerin's getting the nod. Probably a sense of loyalty there for what he's done for the club. Make him the captain for one of his final games. This is what's happening, though. We're not exactly on board with it. I agree with you. Pepe, who's had a good run and is playing really well, is on the subs bench as well. But rotation, Sam. Thankfully, Lacazette is still in there, that he can continue a rich vein of form, hopefully.
Well, that's the thing. He hasn't. I think he's at least saving grace in this lineup is he hasn't completely, messed up the front four. Basically, I mean, the front four can play well together. They're going to hopefully, create some good chances for us today. It's only in the middle that's a bit suspect. It doesn't look great in the middle. So if we would have changed the front four as well as the middle, I think we'd have been really struggling today. But at least today it's only the middle that looks a bit, dodgy, and the front four should still be able to do a job for us. So at least that we have them, because we know Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe, when they play together, things work. They click well together with Lacazette. And then Martinelli's he's done a good job lately. So they work well together, that force. So yeah, I think we're going to see a good attack. And I'm just a bit worried about the middle though. Are we going to be winning the midfield battles with Ceballos and Elneny? Are we going to be getting the ball enough to the front four, or are we going to be struggling getting the ball to them with distribution? That's a bit worrying. But Elneny can have a great game. That's the thing with Elneny. All of a sudden, he can have a really good game and be quite dominant. So we'll see what happens today.
If the attitude is right and we apply ourselves properly, we should be able to get the win today. Ever thought about doing a watch along, Ray? We did actually have done a couple. We'll be doing some this month, a little bit later in the month, maybe in next month. Definitely, if we get to the Europa League final, we'll definitely be doing a watch along for the Europa League final. But we've got to navigate a Unai Emery team, and Unai Emery is going to be motivated. Hopefully, Arsenal players are motivated in a similar way. Stephen said here, that midfield, I hope they prove me wrong, but it doesn't fill me with confidence. Not great attacking wise either. In terms of getting the ball through midfield, I think Stephen's saying that. So,
one thing is that at least Ceballos hopefully understands how that midfield needs to play by one, being on the field with a Partey, and two, not necessarily being as negative, right? So that is a plus. It's not the ultimate, because we know he doesn't have it in him to play the way, give us more of an Elneny, form in the way that he plays, because he can play. Elneny's going to be safe with it, right, with the ball. Ceballos, as we've seen, has been a little loose with the ball and cause us a lot of pain, right? So if he can take whatever Elneny gives us and take what he's seen from Partey and kind of mix the two together, it might be a combination where we don't have a strong midfield, but we have a solid one that doesn't make any mistakes, right? Or minimal mistakes. And if there are mistakes, hopefully they're on the other side of the midline, right? A lot of times we're doing ours right on our side of the field, and that's when we put our defense under pressure. And then we'll see a run on us. So, and that's the one good thing about the way we've been playing, is that when we've had made what looked like some mistakes, have been going forward, not necessarily going backwards where we put our pressure on the defense, which we think is suspect as it is, right? Xhaka playing out left in a back four, that might be something that's, to me, something new, right? It was usually a back three that he was playing it. So now we'll change it up on him again. Right. Yeah. So is that in preparation for Everton, or is that just is that because it's? it's
I
because
think he's kept Granit Xhaka with Ceballos in that hole ahead of Granit Xhaka in preparation to get that down on the field. So, like I said, we're going to probably face Richarlison on Friday against Everton.
Yeah,
So,
that's gonna be a tough game for Xhaka. He's going to finally be tested, and he needs protection from the midfield to come down and help. And hopefully that'll work. Yeah.
We have seen Ceballos sit in that hole in front of Xhaka and not take too much of the midfield role, sitting in front of Xhaka. Does this today put a little bit more pressure on El Neni, and will we see Emil Smith-Rowe dropping in to help the midfield a little bit as well?
I think so. I think Smith-Rowe needs to drop a bit deeper to be able to get the ball. I don't think he can stay that far up the field today because I think there's going to maybe be some issues getting the ball to him. So he's going to have to drop in, and Lacazette will do the same as well. He'll drop in to help in midfield, and then we'll get the runs in behind then from Martinelli and Saka. So I think we do need help in the middle there with El Neni and Ceballos to be able to create some play, and I think that's what Lacazette and Smith-Rowe will probably do.
That is a good view of things because, like you said, Lacazette will come back, and Smith-Rowe we know can play in that midfield if needed. Right, we've seen him do it already, and we've been able to be successful with that. So, yeah. So they've got some support. So we need them not to be terrible, right? Not to be whatever Ceballos was in that Olympiacos game. We don't want that one, right? So if we don't get that one, we'll be fine, right? If we get him, if he kind of skews more to the El Neni side and it's safe and a little bit clean, and he does have the same. I think he does have the same kind of energy as El Neni, right? They can go if they want to. So hopefully the two of them can rub off on each other, and we see a little bit more adventurous El Neni and a little bit more contained.
Like you said, hopefully Saka can get on the score sheet again. Martinelli also. No love for the budgies here. Congratulations to Norwich going straight back up, but Stefan wants them to go straight back down. That rivalry there is intense. Norwich and I think Ipswich. Stefan's repping Ipswich. Also a big game today, the Old Firm derby today. The assemble asks, are we happy with the lineup? I'm not exactly happy with the lineup they assembled. We talked about rotating to keep the squad fresh. I think that's what this team is, rotation, and quite heavy rotation if you look at it, especially in the back line. Some players that have performed really, really well are not in the team, and hopefully they come back for Everton. I'm okay with this lineup if we get the win, and those players who have performed better, like Chambers, Pepe, and Pablo Mari, come back into the lineup. So, what do you guys think about? Are you happy with the lineup, Sam?
I agree with you. I mean, I think that when it comes to the back back four. Sorry. I don't mind actually Ryan getting a chance. Well. Yeah, I was just going to say I don't mind Ryan getting a chance because Leno's not been great. So I don't mind Ryan getting a chance actually. But when it comes to the four defenders in front of the goalkeeper, that's where I think we need to try and keep some consistency and keep them playing together. And yes, Mari has been playing very well. It's a shame he's going to be dropped again with Chambers. He's getting used to playing with that back four. Again, he gets dropped. And it's just that's the little things like that just annoy me with Arteta because they don't deserve to be dropped. And Chambers and Mari haven't played many games this season. So, I mean, yes, okay, you want to keep them fresh, but it's not like they've had loads of games in them already. Holding is more like the player you'd like to rest, really. But again, Gabriel and Marique, for some weird reason, if they play together, I think everyone turns into a pumpkin or something like that. I don't know because it's a Cinderella story or something. I don't know because they can't, for some weird reason, they can't play together. We can play with two right-footed centre backs. That's no problem. But playing with two left-footers, all of a sudden the world collapses. So I don't know. I just don't get it. There are two best centre backs individually, Gabriel and Mari, and for some reason we can't play them together. I just don't get it.
Yeah, as the Assemble says here, Gary, he seems to be underestimating Fulham, and you can't underestimate any Premier League team. On any given day, you will get turned over by a Premier League team. He doesn't seem to like the team as settled structure.
Well,
And
we put a
Gary,
lot of
if
pressure. We put a lot of pressure on our front four now, right? They're going to have to be really, really good today
how to get the goals,
because they have nobody. They have not so, they have nothing behind them, and I mean that in the sense that they don't have a Partey. They don't have a center back pairing that we know is solid, that works, that consistently has worked. We've seen a lot of, we've seen Holding and Gabriel not work because the two are out of sync, right? So right up the middle of the field, we're in trouble again. Xhaka on the right, on the left side will be fine, right? Or is it right side? Bellerin is just coming back, so now we've got Bellerin and Holding on that one side of the field. Is that
and that never works well. It never
Is that-
works well. Bellerin and Holding don't work well together. They really don't.
is that an accident waiting to happen?
Yes, it is.
hopefully El Neni can provide some cover there in that area as well.
What?
I hope so.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So
Back
El
at
Neni
you.
will give us something, but he's surrounded. Well, behind him, he's got not a solid, a backing behind him, right? So he has to be as perfect as he can be. But then you do have, like you said, we have Cedric and Marie coming off the bench, and to me,
I'm scratching my head.
one of them should have been playing in this game, right?
Right.
Definitely Cedric, I feel, because also he's necessarily the future of our wing backs, right? Bellerin isn't, as far as we're concerned. It sounds like he's out the door, right? So he comes in, he's the
on his way.
captain. I don't, this is the whole captain thing now. So he's got the captain badge. Is he going to play like one today, right? When is the last time he's played like a captain with the armband on?
Well, against Fulham, he shouldn't really have much of it. He shouldn't really have a difficult against Fulham, right? That's the thing. I think maybe Arteta's looking at the opposition as well and saying, "Okay, it's Fulham. Yeah, they can come out and give 110% and maybe give us a hard game. But still, at the end of the day, it's still Fulham, right? So he's thinking, it's Fulham. He should be able to do okay, but you never know with Bellerin.
Calculated risk.
Yeah, but if you think about it, Cedric is the player would be coming off the bench in the Everton game, right? Right. If Chambers is having some issues or whatever, we need, then you would have Cedric come in. He's going to be out of a game, and then he's going to have to come in. He may have to come in an Everton game, and he's going to be a little bit, at least as far as I'm concerned, a little bit off, right? He didn't play in the previous game, so now it's going to be a week and a half before he plays. Kind of feel like, this is where you talk about the man management sometimes. Bellerin isn't long for Arsenal the way we've been playing, right? During this streak of games where we're trying to figure things out, Bellerin's been on the sideline watching things. We're starting over again, but Cedric isn't a starter for us, right? Unless he is, that's the thing we don't know. Unless he is,
I'd rather be seeing Cedric instead of Bellerin. If you want to rest Chambers, then Cedric is, for me, he's the second best option. Bellerin's the third best option. And
that's why that whole Willian thing is. He's our third option, right? If the two guys in front of him are injured, then he comes in. There's no need for him to come in right now.
Good thing Tony's not here. He would be fuming right now. He's a big Chambers advocate. And listen, if you're new around here, you don't know about Tony's GoFundMe page, check it out. I'll leave the link in here later.
Yeah.
But he does need to get some cash for his GoFundMe page. Get him a prosthetic leg so he can travel over to England and beat Arteta over the head with a prosthetic leg.
Yeah.
Gary, last season, we had a drop-off famously against Aston Villa. We could have relegated Aston Villa. We had this situation. We were playing quite well. We got into the FA Cup final, I think, at the time. And things started to dip. Today, we're through to a semi-final of a major European competition. Hopefully, things don't dip today.
No, yeah, well, that's all up. This is where I think it's up to Arteta, right? He's got these players out there that he's put out there. He's got to show trust and confidence in them that they know they can get the job done. If he kind of gives them the thought that, you know what, we're doing certain things because, you know, they are towards the bottom of the table. They are basically, you know, going to come at us. They are going to take advantage of this or that. Then, like I said, I don't think in most games we have to cater to what the other team may do, right? We've got a strong four in every game that we play, I think, coming out from here on out, right? No matter who we put in that front four, we're going to have a strong four for us. It's just a matter of who sets up on the back line, and then Partey is always going to play in those big games, so we're solid there, right? So I feel like it's all up. It starts with Arteta before they get on the field, and then when we see them, you know, we'll know what Arteta has told them, hopefully, and they follow suit. I mean, I think hopefully the days of like Lacazette coming on talking about the team isn't listening to Arteta are gone, because this is a game where they need to listen to whatever he has to say. He's been pretty right about what he's told them to do. Can they do it? That's the next trick, right? Mm-hmm. Right, here we go. So Ryan's coming into a game. He needs he can make stops, right? He can make saves. But if it's so leaky in front of him that, you know, he turns his back and then somebody's giving the ball away, I mean, you know, it'll be the same thing he saw in the last game he played, right? Is that the Villa game, right? Where basically they set him up to fail, and he had nothing to do with it at all. He kept us from losing by more than the one goal we did lose, right? So, I mean, hopefully they I like to see him be pretty vocal, especially based on the last time he played and based on what we need on the back line, right? We need Xhaka on one side, and then we need Ryan basically, hopefully, looking to his right going, oh, crap. You know, I'm going to have to help these guys out, right? That's what we're going to need. So hopefully Ryan is up for the task. And those guys play a little bit out of their minds, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is, you have an opportunity to break into the team by your performances, and you better take that chance today. Today's the time to take a chance.
Well, who are you talking about when you say
I'm
that?
I'm talking about everybody. I'm talking about those who have come in, really.
No, but what I'm saying is El Neni, Ceballos, and Bellerin aren't getting any more game time out of whatever they do today. They could have a master class today. That's not going to change anything when we play Everton, right?
He's still true, but
I mean, Ceballos will play. El Neni won't, right? Bellerin isn't playing.
Nah.
One of Holding or Gabriel will be out, most likely Gabriel, right? Mm-hmm. So they're playing for for tomorrow, and tomorrow is like what happens at the end of this season, right? So
I do believe Arteta is obviously evaluating still, and he'll make decisions in the summer about who's going to stay and who's going to go, especially in terms of who his squad depth will be. Bargaff, welcome in here. Sam, do you think Anguissa is a good shout?
I haven't really seen much of him, to be honest. So I can't really say.
He's
a powerhouse, but is he technical enough? I mean, we want someone who's technical as well, right? I mean, I haven't seen enough of him, so I can't really say. I'll have a look at him today if he's playing.
Similar to a Doucouré, I would probably group them two together.
We do need someone there to partner Partey, but excuse me, it depends on how Arteta wants to go forward, though, because if he wants to use Partey as a single pivot in a 4-3-3, which I think is what he ideally wants to do, I think we're going to see this summer. We might see, you know, that type of thing start to happen now in terms of the players he goes for. So it's going to suit his 4-3-3. I think we could be lining up with a 4-3-3 next season with Partey, that single pivot, and then you don't really need someone to partner him in midfield. Then you're looking more like someone who can come in and help him, you know, come in and rest or something like that, you know.
I mean, he's Basuma, maybe.
Basuma, I think, is a more dynamic player from what I've seen.
Yeah. The mix of the sons of Arteta today, we've got two in the house. We've got Granit Xhaka and Bellerin. We don't want a third one like Willian, right? The mix would be too heavy. The cake would be too.
Well, you know what? I mean, as much as I
Go ahead.
Xhaka, I'm happy with the way he's been playing, right? Which is hard to say sometimes, but he actually has been playing pretty well. I think that the further away they put him from the midfield, he's done better. There's less for him to worry about. Put him on one side of the field, he doesn't have to worry about everything going on around him, behind him, and all of that. So it's less to think about, which I think simplifies the game for him a little bit. That's what I think's happening. So now he can just focus on, once in a while maybe pushing the ball back to the goalie or bombing it forward, right? So I think he's come full circle a little bit in terms of the way he's been playing, right? Huh?
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's good. I mean, is he long for Arsenal? I hope not, because I think we definitely need improvements. But if he's going to have, if we fill in a lot of the holes around him, then all the better for that, right? So Partey gets a partner, we get a striker, we get a right back. Then do we need to fix, this Xhaka workout in whatever formation we have? Maybe. Tierney will come back, and we know. Here's the thing. Think about this. Tierney comes back healthy, and Xhaka is also a left back, for example. Right? He doesn't play.
Does not compute.
He doesn't. He won't play much, right? We're hoping we just need a backup in the case in those 10 to 15 games we know Tierney is going to be out, right?
Here's the thing: we want maybe Granit Xhaka to be like a James Milner. He's going to get a few games. If he's going to be here next season, he's not going to get many games. He's just going to get those few games.
That could be a problem for him in general mentally, because he definitely does. He likes to play, right?
He can be the cheerleader from the sideline. We can mic him up on the sideline. How about that? I think Stephen was telling me to stop it in terms of having 3 members of the Sons of Arteta on the team.
Yeah.
Listen, let me know, people in chats. I'm going to go for a treble here. Who do you want to win today? Obviously, Arsenal. Better be Arsenal. Who do you want to win in the Old Firm Derby? And who do you want to win in the Formula One race? So, Gary, take those 3. You want Arsenal to win today?
Oh, definitely.
No.
Yeah. Do I want them to win? Yes. This is what every game. Just consider me expecting them to win every game.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't matter if we're playing with one guy or playing with 20. It doesn't matter.
Who do you want in the Old Firm Derby?
All right. You know what?
Rangers, Celtic. That's okay. You don't have to answer that.
So if the Rangers win, does that mean the Celtic players' value drops a little bit so we can save some money?
Maybe. Yes. Edward, right?
Ulterior motive. We like it. We like it.
I like that.
I think there's at least 2 players on that team that we could be looking at, right? Besides
there's a defender as well, right?
Yeah. I think there's another. Yeah. So.
And do you watch Formula One?
I think that will probably be a really big game. I think the season's over though, right? I think
it's a cup game.
Oh, it's a cup game. Oh, even oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. And I think and Rangers have won the league, right?
Yeah, Rangers already won the league.
So that means the Celtics they're going to be raring to go and get something out of this game. So really good game. Wow, that might change I'm going to go with the Celtic then, because now that kind of changes the excuse thing for me a little bit. 4th round of
the Scottish Cup. Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you have a Formula One team? Do you have a Formula One driver?
I just looked at the name. I know Verstappen and I guess Hamilton pretty much go back and forth, depending on the day, right? I don't know. I think I've seen Hamilton win a couple, so he might get surprised today. And I guess I'll go with what Ray said there. Those 3.
Me too. I agree with Ray. I do. My team is Ferrari. I would like Charles Leclerc to maybe win this race, but I think he's 4th on the grid. Verstappen and what's the other guy? Chico Perez. The 2 of them are going to go against Hamilton, who's on the front on pole position. So it's going to be an interesting race, I think. And I think it's the same time as the Arsenal game, but we got to watch the Arsenal game, Sam.
Yeah, exactly.
It's in our contract, right? We have a life contract with Arsenal, Sam.
Exactly. Yeah, it is. It's a shit contract, but it's there, isn't it? Can't get out of it. Can't get out
You
of
didn't
it.
read the fine print. You didn't read
When
the
you guys are doing
That
much better.
fine print always does you over, doesn't it? That fine print, it's yeah.
And of course, I want Celtic to win as well today.
Yeah, I want Rangers to win. I've always preferred them over Celtic. Comes to Formula One, that new Japanese kid. I know he's not going to win, but I really like him. That new Japanese kid, he looks really talented. I can't remember his name now. He's really
One of the lesser teams, right?
Yeah, he's down in one of the lesser teams, but he had a fantastic first race. He looks very talented. Apart from that, of course, Hamilton's one of the favourites. Verstappen. Those guys. What's his name? The Bottas, whatever his name is. The Finn. He's from Finland, isn't he? He's another strong driver. I like Lando Norris. I like him, young, talented. Yeah. I hope he wins. To be honest, Lando Norris, he can do it. He's capable. Strong. I don't know. I haven't caught the qualifying, so I don't know what the grid is. I don't know where the starting grid.
Lando Norris, I think, is 5th or 6th.
Okay, yeah, potentially has a chance. So yeah, we'll see.
Red Bulls are 2nd and 3rd. Lewis is 1st again, and Leclerc, one of the Ferrari drivers, is ahead of the other one. And
no, you know what? I saw Ray's comment there, though. If Bellerin does what he usually does, which is to bomb forward, then we're back 3 anyways, right? He's not. If he's true to form, he will be up there, up there with the front 4 anyways.
Well, actually, that's the way we've been playing lately. We've had the right. Chambers have been going forward, and we've been sliding the defense over to be like a back 3 with an extra wing back. But the thing with Bellerin, though, is he goes up. The thing with Bellerin, though, he goes up there and he never comes back.
He doesn't have reverse. The reverse is stuck. The reverse, it gets stuck when he tries to go in the reverse.
And then when he runs back, he's like, "Where am I? Oh, do I go there? Do I go there? Where do I
go?" They should know this. They should know this by now. This shouldn't be common. This shouldn't be something new. He's going to bomb forward. He's not going to get back in time because he's going to be stuck in there. He gets, like you said, he gets lost in the tree of midfield, and that midline is so high he just can't see. He can't get out of his own way.
Exactly.
This is the way he'll go.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he doesn't put the little seeds down like Hansel and Gretel or whatever. Can't find his way, and then he's stuck.
Well, you know what? Saka will make him look better. He and Pepe don't have a good time together. Sam, what's your take for today? What's your angle on today, and who's going to score for us?
So I think this lineup should be good enough to win the game. I'm looking forward to seeing Ryan in goal. I'd like to see what he can do because he's a good keeper. I like to see him push Leno a lot more now because Leno hasn't had a good second half of the season. Let's be honest. First half of the season, I think. Yeah, good comment. His head's all over the place, isn't it? He makes so many weird decisions defensively. It really is terrible. But anyway, Leno had a good first half of the season, very good first half of the season. The second half of the season, he dropped off a lot, made some mistakes, some goals he should have been saving. So, I would like to see what Ryan can do and push Leno. The midfield is a little bit of a worry, but I think we've got enough there to do the job. I hope, like we said, Smith Rowe, Lacazette coming up. And I think we should be winning today. I think we'll let in a goal because we've got Holding and Bellerin playing together. So we're going to let in a goal. We're not going to have a clean sheet. One of those two is going to fuck up, and we're going to get a goal against us. So we're going to have one goal against us, and I think we'll win 2-1. I'm hoping 3-1. I hope 3-1 victory.
2-1 for Steve Denham. He's got a double going with Manchester United at 2-0. I noticed that. Join us at 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. I'm going to get to you. Don't worry. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will have the post-game show. It'll be many hours. We'll allow the dust to settle. All of the other YouTubers get in there, and we'll come back to us at that time. Have something to eat, digest the win today, and Also, another announcement, because of the Everton game, we will have the post-game show Friday. So 24 hours later than usual. It'll be Friday evening, Eastern Standard Time. We'll have the Everton post-game, because Thursday there's not going to be a whole lot of stuff. It is Arsenal, but there should be a lot going on, but there won't be. So Gary, two things. Give me your same thing, prediction. What do you want to see today? Who's going to score? And tell us how you pick your five. Do you pick your five? You do your fives on your YouTube channel. Do you pick your fives before the game or after you've seen them?
I try to do it before the game based on the lineup and based on things that like I said, it's usually based on players I want to see perform, players that scare me. And then just maybe, and that's kind of how I gauge it,
Have you got, I know it's early doors, but have you got a feel for your five?
Yeah, I've got a feel for it. I mean, I think Bellerin is probably on the scary part because I don't know how, but you know what? I think I think it actually would be okay with Bellerin because I feel like El Neni will soften the blow. That's what I think. And then I think it'd be Saka. Is it Saka on the right hand side?
Right hand side.
So that'll put a lot of pressure on them, I believe, because El Neni will be safe. Saka will punish them if they let it happen. Bellerin won't be back there anyways. So I took him off the list. So for me right now, it's that midfield of Ceballos and Ceballos and El Neni that I'm kind of looking at. Because depending on how they do, they have a okay game. I don't need them to be lights out, but if they have an okay game where there's more positive than negatives, we'll be okay there. I want to see Martinelli score.
Yeah.
Milsworth Rowe, I think he needs to score as well, or get two assists, something like that, because I think he's yearning for that. And then Lacazette, I guess I want him to continue what he's been doing because that would be nice. And I think if we're concerned about the midfield, then the Milsworth Rowe Lacazette in the middle of the field supporting the team will. Then maybe they have to come back, but that means our wings are going to be bombing forward, hopefully. And Martinelli should have a good day then, right? If there's a lot of space there for him to come through. So that's kind of why I'm looking at it that way. So yeah, so it's more on the offensive side today because I feel like it should be. Defensively, I think we should be solid because of what we're going to do with the offensive players. They're going to put too much pressure on them, is what I'm hoping for. What I expect them to do. So yeah, that's my five.
How can they find you on YouTube?
DWTT. Just put in DWTT Arsenal. I should pop up first.
Subscribe.
I'll try to get this out today, but most likely it will be tomorrow. I try to get it out 24 hours after the game. Or by the close of the next day, basically. So we should have that out on there.
Okay, Sam. The name of the podcast was Consistency Calling, and possible rotation. I thought we would have. We have the rotation I thought we would have. So it's all on the team now. As Gary said, it's on the players put out there to perform. And they need to play for a possible place in the future.
Yeah, definitely. The number one thing I want to see today is effort, work rate, and effort. That's all I ask for. I mean, at the end of the day, if you lose a football game, things happen. Things can go against you. But as long as you've put in, you can say, listen, we gave it 110% and we lost. Not that we should be losing to Fulham, but I think you get my point. As long as you're giving 110% and the work rate's good, then you can't really complain. But if we're gonna go back to this, let's just do what we need to do, lethargic, rubbish, then we're gonna be in trouble. We can't go back to that. We need to keep the performance levels up, and that's the one key thing I want to see today.
Things I'm watching for is, like Sam said, commitment, application, desire to win, consistency.
Yep.
Consistency, because we did drop off last season and we can't do that this season. We have, as Sam said, an opportunity to go above Tottenham and above Everton, at least in the league, and that's what the team needs to do. Let's go get 3 points today, right?
Yep, exactly. 3 points is what we need. We have to get it.
We'll see you later, 2 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. UK time. Enjoy the game, everyone. I just checked the Old Firm Derby. It's staggered a little bit, so you'll be able to catch that. It'll be half an hour into the game after the Arsenal game's finished. Formula One's probably going to be going on, but we're all Arsenal fans here. We all should be watching the Arsenal. Thanks, Gary, for joining, and Sam also.
Thanks for having me. Always good as usual.
Thank you,
See you later.
Chat. Yeah.
Let's go grab those 3 points, right?
Yes. Give me three. Did you guys see that fight? I think it was.
No, didn't.
There was some fight where the guy said it was rigged or whatever. The guy was like a UFC fighter who took like 20 shots to the head, but all of a sudden one shot in boxing and he was down, and it was like, what?
I haven't seen it.
It's like Arsenal. You can take 20 shots, but just one of them has to go in, right?
True.
Well, we'd like a better ratio than that today, please. Not 20 shots and just one goal. All right, 3 more comments and we'll get out of here. Later, guys. Thanks, Ray Anderson. Steve Denham. Everyone, Stefan, it was a good podcast today. If Laka scores 2 goals today, he'll be fourth for the goal scorers. And Ray, that will make Tony a very happy person indeed.
You know what? That means we have to get at least 4 goals, all right? Because Martinelli and Milsrifo need to score.
Yeah. Saka. Don't forget about Saka.
No. You know what? Saka's okay. But Milsrifo and Martinelli need it more than him, I think. Saka had a really good score in the last game. And Milsrifo should have had his score. Martinelli should have had his score, right? So they both had chances to score in the last game. Didn't fall for either one of them. Today's the day.
All right, 15 minutes to kick off. Get in there, Arsenal. We'll see you at in 6 hours from now.
Yes.
Take care, everyone. Be safe.
Later. Thank you, everyone in the chat.
You Gooners.
Come on, you guys.